Hey, shalom, shalom. It's the brother Abba Yabba from the DC Church, coming at you, giving all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Shemah, Shahaba, Shemer Kakadash, Yahweh being the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shah being whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, by Shem meaning in the name, Rekal meaning spirit, Kodash meaning holy. These are the names and the powers that I come to in order to profess the 100% truth, and Lord's will seal the elect's faith. Alright? Shen Kabaka, Walla Rakaza, Koyunaba, Aith, meaning double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS in these times, whom the Heavenly Father had enlisted the 100% truth to. And of course, Shalom, Barakam, Labakam, Shiasha Allah, peace and blessings be upon the elect of the nation of Israel. Alright, and to the men out there that's pushing this word of sincerity and truth to you, I say Shalom, Barakam, peace and blessings be upon you. Now, without further ado, I haven't really came up with a constructive title for this, but what I want to name it is something along the lines of everything is segueing into the motb. And I was just having a discussion with the brother again, the officer Shamwala, earlier this week, and we kind of were just going into various topics, and one of the things that we kind of discovered and that we were looking at was the CBDC, Central Banking Digital, something close to that. I'm actually going to look it up real quick. I think it's like CBDC. Yeah, Central Bank Central Bank of Digital Currency. Don't allow. And basically what we're talking about is how Salakia. What we're talking about is basically how digital transactions are basically taking over the world as of right now, something along that lines. And why this is important is because this segues us right into the motb. Now, some of you may ask, how does this tie into the motb, or how could you come up with this with this estimated guess or this thesis? And I say to you that this was the whole point of C19. C19, what happened in C19, with C19 in the year of 2020, is that during that time, that was the biggest, for lack of better terms, that was the biggest refrain from physical transactions that the world has probably seen in a very long time. Because then what happened after that is that segued us right into the digital transactions, digital banking, digital RFID or RF or radio frequency transactions. Because that's essentially when you have Apple Pay on your phone, what it does is it uses radio frequency to extract those funds from your set account. So I just looked up what's the percent of digital transactions, and it says this the Discover 451 research reports estimates that two digital methods accounted for nearly 4.7 trillion in transactions worldwide last year, with mobile taking a 51% share. It says that total will reach 5.2 trillion this year, with mobile sharing inching up to 53. And reports estimate. Okay, and basically what that's telling you is that we're moving into more of the Internet of Things, and the reason why is because that's bringing us right into the motb, because everything ties into that final prophecy, or I'll say that most climatic prophecy, because it's not the final prophecy. The final prophecy is Babel being destroyed, let alone with the other nations, the thermonuclear destruction, essentially. But this is one of the most climatic prophecies, because this will definitely tell us that we're not too far from that specific point, or it's from that point of prophecy where the thermonuclear destruction is going to occur, essentially. So actually, I'm gonna read this a little bit. It says a new report shows how many consumers have adopted digital payments since COVID. See? And that was one of the main reasons why, the higher ups in this world did what they did, is so that they can lead us into more of a digital banking era, essentially. And there's a video, actually, I think it might be in my YouTube. I just watched it right here, which we're gonna watch just a little bit of this.
So, Central bankers create cycles. How have the central bankers, this is my last slide because my 12 minutes are just up, have reacted to the truth coming out? They admit that they've been telling porkies, and now they propose to increase their power. So central bankers belatedly admit, oh, now that you've mentioned it, yes, banks create the money supply. So let's abolish that now. And also, by the way, let's abolish cash. So what should we do? Well, introduce digital cyber currency that central banks issue and control, and thereby gain total control over all economic transactions, decisions, and the whole lot you've just heard from the CEO of the GDI. So the greatest concentration of central banking power in history is really the bid they're aiming at. That's the central
I kind of want to skip a little bit forward. I don't want to miss too much context, though.
Concentration of power in the hands of the few. That's what we have to keep in mind. We have to work against this. We don't want to have these unaccountable central planners making decisions. We need decentralization, and the solution, therefore, is to maintain.
That's kind of really the main point. Is that number one, the central banks and the higher ups that own those banks, they're trying to kind of sectionize or compartmentalize fund transactions into digital transactions, and that was the whole point, or one of the main reasons why COVID-19 or C-19 was what I'm trying to find the word. It was normalized, or not normalized. It was like heightened on media, like your fluff news essentially, and it was fake. They were giving fake statistics because they understood that this is the only way that we can get people to stay inside and basically buy things digitally. So what that whole month period, what they needed to happen, or those months that went by, what they wanted to happen was people going inside, buying Uber Eats and all this other digital transactions, Amazon and what have you, do everything at home, no money, no physical money involved, all digital transactions. Because what this does is it makes you accustomed to, what pertains to the MOTB. All right, brothers can actually watch this on their own time. I just wanted to kind of briefly bring this out. I want to go back to this. It says it has been known anecdotally over the past year that the impact of COVID-19 pandemic has shifted consumers to digital payments. On Monday, survey results emerged to show just how extensive that shift has been. Roughly 1/3 of consumers who now use such services as digital wallet, peer-to-peer payments, QR code payments, and buy now, pay later services begin using them only in the past year, according to State of the Union Global Digital Payment and FinTech Ecosystem from 451 Research and sponsored by Discover Network, right? It says many consumers that previously used cash and swipe cards shifted to using more flexible and hygienic forms of payment, says the report. The impact ranged widely, with 39% of users coming on board in the past year in Mexico at the high end, and 20% in China at the low end, and the U.S. market figured 38%. For the question, the study canvassed over 3,000 consumers across 8 countries. Okay, so that basically tells you what one of the main focuses were for that. But to be honest with you, this is all a part of an agenda. The elites knew that this was going to happen, and this is how this thing was going to go since the very beginning. Because once you go to digital transactions, it's more convenient than carrying cash and carrying change. So all they needed to do was get the people accustomed to that way of life, and then they can quote unquote bring things back to normal. And people have a normacy bias, so everybody wants to get things back to normal and how they were pre-COVID, no mask, all this other BS. Okay. And the reason why they made these regulations so strict and so harsh is so that people can be annoyed and be more compliant to how they want to rule things. Okay. So, that was really the main point. You can kind of go into this by yourself. digitaltransactions.net. Look that over. I did want to bring out 2 precepts, and then I'm gonna close this out. All right. There's Romans chapter 13, verse 11. It says, "In that knowing the time, that now it is a high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believed. The night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light." Now, I brought this out because this is showing you the time frame that we're in as men of the Lord, and how close we are to the kingdom of heaven. Okay, the Heavenly Father is allowing things to speed up so that, you know, we can get out of here, essentially. And that's why you see things happening surgically, essentially, for lack of better terms, or precisely, that's leading us up to that main event, one of the main events, which is the implementation of the MOTB. Okay. Now, of course, I'll be remiss if I didn't bring this out. This is Revelations chapter 13, verse, we're going to start at 16, okay? It says, "And he calls up all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their hands, on their right hand, or in their foreheads." Now, to those who have no understanding, this can seem like a bit of a reach, but to those who have understanding, they know exactly what's going on and exactly how this thing is playing out. And they know that this was definitely one of the methods, or one of the methodologies that Esau uses to get us, to get the people more accustomed to the digital transactions and the more internet of things. Okay. So it says, "And that no man may buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name." Okay. And what that basically is telling you is that you have to be in conformation to the beast in order to partake in daily activities, or your convenient activities that you do from day to day. What it tells you also is that you have to be in subjection to that beast, because what that RFID microchip it's an awe, AUL, an awe, to basically signify who you belong to, so that you can partake in certain activities that pertain to this world. But we understand that this world is temporary. We understand that everything that pertains to this world is temporary and is soon to be destroyed. And that's why we have to put our faith high in Yahweh Shai, and he will provide us the things that we need. Okay. So with that, I pray that you are edified. I give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shai, by Shemar Kakadash, Shani Kabaka, Walla Bakaz, claiming now by Ith, wa Shalom, wa Barakum, wa Bakan, Shiyasha Allah. Shalom, Akim. Until next time, I say Shalom.